Hi, everybody. This is Nat Myers here again, founder at Raises.com, back with the Top Capital Raiser show. And today I'm joined by a very special guest. So today we have Fabian. And Fabian here is the founder of Yada Group, a group that owns more than 150 units, $20 million assets under management. He also has a property management company as well in Canada, managing over 200 units. He's worked with Alfonso, a mentor that has over $400 million assets under management, and Victor Manax, who has $300 million asset under management. So, in bringing Fabian to this call, he's working on several things as well on the side, such as Hillside LP, which is a 54 building portfolio. And so, first off, before we dive into the details, Fabian, welcome to the show, and nice to have you.
Yes, it's a pleasure, Nat, too. We've been, we built a little relationship over the last couple of years, and finally being able to get on your show and you could talk some good stuff.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you definitely have a lot in the works, and more than I could even fit in a quick intro. So, I guess maybe let's look at the focus of this IAM fund, the Investor Asset Management Fund. So, in my notes, and we are chatting a bit offline. Basically, it seems to be a system to create mutual fund trusts in Canada. So, this seems to be something that can help investors that have retirement accounts to be able to invest in different offerings where your team can actually build the pitch decks, do due diligence, do back end support, investment negotiations, and everything. So maybe before we get into the weeds, maybe if you could introduce yourself to the audience, and then we can walk through everything. So
Yeah, so I think you did a pretty good overview of who I am, but the I'm like just super excited about the IAM system. That's what it's called. It's IAM, but it's IAM system. It's to really put it in terms is what do the biggest Fortune 500 companies do to retain talent or recruit talent? They offer share options, right? And then more so, what's the if you want to be in the upper echelons of the Morgan Sachs, um, the Elon Musk of the world, you have to set up your business and your capital raising strategy like the big guys, right? If you want to get public money, you got to set up a public offering. You have to have a publicly traded company. Like, does that make sense?
so far so good.
So with the IM system, we're structuring you properly, and we're setting you up that you can eventually, if your fund performs well with the types of things that you're investing in, or if you're a land developer and your performance as well, you can ultimately start getting top companies, maybe even toe dipping with you, investing with you because you're set up properly. And that's kind of what the system is in general. And what we're able to do is it's a done for you system, and it's a done with you system. So the done for you part is that we set up the fund for you under our umbrella. We help you, we help do your due diligence, we help manage all the back end for you so you can focus on your superpower, which should be sales in your business, or if it's development and you have a sales team, whatever it is. This is not something that's going to be added to your plate that you have to manage. It's something that you allow us to manage for you, and it's pretty exciting, and it's something that no one is offering or doing right now.
Yeah, no, there's a gap in the market because I was approached by a few people, one in BC that wanted to do a mutual fund trust and was talking about 150 shareholders and what it entails. And this is something that is complementary to what we do because we don't do mutual fund trusts, and we're in a different type of fund market. So perhaps for the audience, what is a mutual fund trust anyway, and why should people care about what it is?
Well, a mutual fund trust is more or less, it's a fund where you can take cash, but most importantly, It's a legal structure that you can accept registered funds from investors. So TFSA, your liras or the RSPs, that's the biggest selling point and feature of the fund is that you're able to be structured legally because yes, to be compliant with the CRA, you need to have 150 active investors in your fund to stay compliant. So when you come under us, we already have that 150 already, and we're setting you up into a silo where, and we can create multiple silos for you where we can essentially um, you stay compliant, everything is managed for you, and you can raise money, not just cash, but registered funds. And then, obviously the simple GPLP structures are apply. You, even if you're doing a term sheet, you're limited to accredited investors, maybe some friends and family exemption, or if you do an offering memorandum, you're limited to, you can actually go a little bit broader and kind of go to some retail investors and stuff, and just the way how that's crafted and all those things, right? So we work with you on that front. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty details because it can throw some, it can bore some people, but essentially is it allows you to be compliant and raise capital securely and a lot more easier.
Oh, exactly. So perhaps to the Canadian audience and to the global audience, would you say that people that have it's the Canadian equivalent to the Roth IRA holders who want to be able to invest, or maybe explain what the basics are, the TFSA, and what the basics are for the mass market here, and how does it connect to the mutual fund,
Okay, so how does the basis you're saying connect to the mutual fund of using the registered funds or using
or
just
even
kind of.
what's a registered fund, like even just for the
Oh well, a registered fund is like your tax-free savings account. At the end of the year, you're allowed to make a certain contribution, right? That stays in a tax-free account, and any investments that you make in that account is supposed to be tax-free. I know they actually slammed someone the other day, a day trader who was using his TFSA, and they actually labeled it as income, right? But with this mutual fund structure, they can't label it. It's a mutual fund. It's a registered mutual fund. Even though it's private, you don't have to worry about them labeling your returns as income, right, from your endeavors, right? So it is an investment. So that's one benefit there. I hope that kind of explains and answers your question.
Oh, totally, totally. So then, if somebody wants to raise money, would you say that it's easier to raise money using these structures, or what's the main benefit for people that want to raise money?
The main benefit for people who want to raise money is just the ease of use and that you're structured like the big guys, right? Couple names is like Equiton, um, public REITs. This is how they're structured. They can accept registered funds, but they're also and shares as they're public. And then there's a lot of private REITs as well. And these are how the private REITs are set up. So it doesn't matter how big you are to get this set up, but the hardest part is that 150. I was actually talking to a rep at a conference with Equiton, and now Equiton has, in 8 years, over 1 billion assets under management. They started their mutual fund trust at 24 units. How did the guy do it? How did he get his 150? He actually found, I think at the time, 150 investors, and I think he gave them like 500 or $1,000 each to invest. So he had those investors in there, and that's how he was able to start and grow. So you can go that route and slave yourself to find 150. You may have that in your database to give them 500 to $1,000, but you're still navigating all the paperwork and the legalities of trying to find a lawyer and all that stuff, right? We've done all the work, we've have the experience, and it's just as simple of us retaining us and allowing us to help you move forward. And then my experience is in multifamily, doing zero down deals, doing creative deals, structuring deals to be refinanced into CMHC. um, I provide that experience for you that I would want you as a fund, investing in multifamily. because that's just what I do. But I'm also a commercial realtor, so I've been around land development deals. I've helped clients do due diligence on land development on different things. So I'm pretty versatile in the sense of in that area to help make sure like the investors that you're looking at and making like we qualify them correctly.
Makes sense. Speaking of the versatility, you have some form of momentum that a lot of people don't have because there's some people that they're still in the trenches and they're still working to get even to that 10 or 20 AUM, million AUM. So what are some pieces of advice perhaps you can offer to people that maybe they're not there yet to be able to, I guess maybe you're not even there yet to be able to even consider this, or what are some pieces of advice for people that until they're ready to work with you, that they can act to get to sort of that to that level?
That's a great question, too. And I think I apply the lesson that I learned as being a realtor. And also my parents are realtors. They do about 4 million in revenue a year. They have a team and they do pretty well in the Durham region area. So being around them and being around real estate kind of practically my whole life, um, I've I've realized certain things like have staying in a target market. My mom, who's the head of the team, she's been in a target market in Durham region for decades now, 2 decades, right? So people know who she is, right? So that strategy, even when I was looking for my building my portfolio, I stayed in one area and grew in that area. When I stayed in that area and grew in that area, it's easier to manage, it's easier to buy, and you become an authority in that area where people call you, sellers call your phone because they know that you're buying deals and they know, and you're able to get creative with them and do things with them because they all talk, people talk, right? We know that the land development circles are small, the real estate investment circles are small, multifamily investment circles are small, right? So when you're niche and you're in it and you're able to grow yourself in a target area, you become you move from becoming just a person to the person. And that's something that my mentor Alfonso really talks about. What I learned from him is you become the person in that area, right? So that you're the one that everyone goes to, right? So like that to me is the best strategy for someone starting up is, you can broaden your net, right? And find something that sticks. But once you find that area of something that sticks, like let's say you're able to pick up a 15 unit or 24 unit in the case of an example of multifamily, stay in that area, try to find more units, build there. It's easier for your team to establish a team if you want to establish a property management team. It's easier to, help move tenants from different areas. If you want to do, instead of doing cash for keys, you can be more flexible. You say, because that's what we do, right? We could relocate tenants around to help bring our rents up because we have such a strong presence in the area, and then we know the other landlords in the area, right? So that would be my advice if that was sufficient to answer your question.
It makes a lot of sense because, well, I mean, another thing is, would you say that that's the probably the biggest lesson that you learned, or I guess if not, like, was there like a specific event that happened, or deal that you did, or almost did, that made you realize this lesson of niching down? Or I guess what other piece of advice would you offer?
Well, that nation down I just stumbled upon it, right? And then I guess the other advice is that, I don't know if you ever read the book The E-Myth,
Yeah.
right? When you start as a business owner, because you need to think of it as a business, right? Real estate investors, we're just like, oh yeah, I'm a real estate investor, like you're a single person. You need to think as a business. So when you start as a business, you wear multiple hats, but eventually you need to start taking those hats off and putting them on other people. So as the biggest thing, which even the fund is connected to, and I can get into that in a moment, is you're in the recruiting business because it's all about people, right? Everything is about people. You cannot become Facebook if you're not able to recruit the right people to make Facebook go to the next level, right? You cannot be Google if you don't have the right people in your organization, the executives, all the way to the programmer who's a genius, came from Harvard, right? To bring your company to the next level, right? What did what's the owner of Apple? He's just slipped my mind. Steve Jobs. Did Steve Jobs do all the coding, do all the things to create the MacBook or the iPhone? No, he worked with a team and recruited a team of highly intelligent geniuses, and he just told them what to do, told them what he didn't like, and they had to figure it out and fix it. So in your business, you have to learn that you are in the recruiting as well, and you have to you can't do it all on your own, and you have to recruit and build a team.
This is brilliant and something that I'm still working on myself at this point. So would you say that being a recruiter is what it takes to be successful in the business? Or I guess what would it take? And when I say the business, I mean those who are looking to work with you and get their mutual fund trust set up, or those who are maybe a bit junior for that. But what does it take to be successful in this business in general?
Well, like in the sense of us, what we're doing as a done for you service, we're coming fractionally into your business and becoming part of your team. So my team has become part of your team in this sphere, right? Of getting this set up for you, right? And getting and managing it correctly. And in general, what you're saying in business, one thing that my other mentor, Victor Minash, and you told about what he has, right? The most pivotal thing in my business is like you need to think as a general and not like the soldier, right? The general gets to a place where he just commands his soldiers and structures his soldiers, right? So, and that's what any organization is. It's an organized group of people. So it's just a mindset shift and a mind frame, just getting into your brain OS and setting up that mind frame for yourself to just look at your business differently and how you can grow it with people who so you can focus on your superpower. What's your strengths? Just maximize and hit your strength, right? And find the people around you who can do the things that you're not strong at, but that's their strength, right? So like biggest thing, like I started my property management company with as my portfolio grew, and I did all the work, right? But it was a good thing and a bad thing, but eventually you can't stay there, right? Because I can't grow and take the company to a next level when I'm trying to swing a hammer or if I'm serving tenant notices, right? As soon as I was able to find and recruit and establish a COO, and that wasn't easy, right? You can't just think that you could throw money at someone and hire them. You have to, like the big Fortune 500 companies, offer equity, offers profit sharing, offer some type of incentive because you can't only inspire your team, you have to incentivize your team. So that's why more so even as we're setting up this fund, we're kind of going niche as like my strategy, as I told before. And our niche right now that we're focusing on is going into real estate brokerages and helping real estate developers, right? So I think those are the two biggest pillars because real estate developers, they're raising money all the time for the things that they're doing, and they need to do it compliantly and do it smartly. And this fund trust is the best structure for them. And then also for real estate brokerages, it's a huge, as a realtor myself, it's a huge game changer. That being with that, because we're basically setting up a pension fund for realtors. So when we set up a fund within a brokerage, where agents can contribute a portion of their commission to the fund, their clients can invest in the fund, right? And so you're making your clients money. So you're finding deals for the fund that you're getting commissions on. There's just so many profit centers that it would work so well with a brokerage that we're really pounding in. And just the fact that I'm a realtor, I've been a realtor for over 8 years, and I've been around real estate helping my parents, do stuff in the office and different things for like most of my life as well. So helping realtors strikes a chord with me first and foremost. So that's kind of been where our focus is. But this model can be applied in a lot of different scenarios. But right now, like I said, we're going niche and we're focusing on brokerages and real estate developers. But anyone who wants to reach out to us, I'm glad to see how we can help them to a point and see where we can go.
I like it. I like it because I'm getting a little lesson here too. So hopefully everyone watching the video, I mean, you apply this and you take the habit of giving people different hats and you stay in your area of genius. So when it comes to the I am fund, what are some of the so you mentioned sure you have this experience of real estate and you've actually been in the trenches, so you've actually done it yourself and you understand the different you know sub industries in real estate, which is great. So what sectors and locations are you working with? Is it Canada, Ontario? Are there certain cities, and what sectors and
So,
what types of
so
people?
right, great question too. So right now, this mutual fund structure is only exclusive to Canada. So we're Canada wide. So like as we're targeting brokers and developers, it's Canada wide. But like I said, niche, we're just focusing for now in Ontario, but we'll work with anyone Canada wide. But again, becoming an authority. So we're just starting this model and applying it to brokerages and trying to get a few case studies together. But it's a long-term goal. And what I'm also offering is, even for real estate brokerages, they get an opportunity to align with my deals and my portfolio, where I'm actually giving them equity in exchange for them coming into joining our fund, so that they can automatically be associated to the assets under management part, right? So we're actually sharing some of our shares of as a GP to help motivate and really get really help out these individuals and entrepreneurs who are just trying to build a life for their families. And once you're able to live the life of your dreams, then you start to go into other problems and start to focus on things outside of yourself, like world issues, or just whatever that's on your heart, right? So I think that's what it is about in life is, we want to make money. It's great to make money, but then you get into a point where, okay, how can we help people, right? That's the service business, right? So that's kind of how Yada Group is. Like, the word Yada means to have relationship and to know intimately. So that's the core of our business, is to get to know our clients, our investors, anyone we're servicing intimately, so that we can help them intimately.
Okay, fair. And Yada and the IM fund, 5 years from now, let's say, there's a lot of traction, you're dealing with a lot of clients, and then you want to start, going to new markets, or I guess what would be some of the future plans? And what's the vision and the future plans for this IAM fund and your mutual fund trust setup system here?
Well, I think our future plans is that we'd like to be established as one of the biggest funds in Canada. And it's not like it's a one single fund, but like we want to be established as um like your one-stop shop to help you raise capital securely. And so that's kind of our pitch. And not only raise capital securely, but investor asset management system, that your investors are your assets more than the asset you're buying, right? So where we help you raise money from investors, and we help you manage them, right? Manage them, securely manage them, keeping in touch with them, all that stuff, because they're the most important, right? Because they're the ones who are investing the money to help you grow your company, right? So I think that is the biggest thing with the system.
It seems to be. So somebody's watching this video and they want to work with you. What are some of the best ways that they can, like, how can somebody work with you and start setting up their mutual fund trust?
Okay, so if you want to book a call with me, we can discuss options, get to know each other. Yadagroup.ca/meet. That goes directly to my Calendly, and you can book a call with me directly. Or you could also email me at Fabian@yadagroup.ca. So FABIAN @YADA group.ca. I'm sure there's going to be links in the description and all that stuff.
Exactly. Get ready to get flooded in emails. So, well, everybody, this has been a really good podcast, and I got a fair share of wisdom from this as well, and hopefully all of you who watch this will apply it. So, Fabian, any last words for the audience before we wind down?
Yeah, I guess my last words is that, we're, in this life, it's more than money. Once you're able to make the shift from yourself to others, that's when you're always taken care of. Right. So, when you're, especially when people are starting out, they're raising capital, they're always thinking about me, 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 my deal, my deal. Everything is me, 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 my. It needs to go to you. Yo, yo, yo. I don't know. But you need to focus on what's the investor's needs, what's their horizons, what's in it for them, what's the best thing for them. Because once you're able to solve that, they're with you for life. Once you're able to dig in deep to what they need, they're with you for life and you have their money, right? Because they know they can trust you because you understand them, right? So that to me, that's my biggest advice for raising capital in this market, especially.
I agree completely. You know, it's kind of like Newton's laws, right? Like for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If you help others, maybe you can get something in return if you offer value. So that's brilliant. This has been Fabian with the Ada Group, and everyone just hit the links in the subscription or in the description so that you'll be able to book a call with him. Subscribe for more videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. See you.